Hi there. What I wanted to talk about today is proving parental alienation syndrome. I see a lot of comments online, different threads in forums about how to prove parental alienation syndrome, like in court, how to how to win when this is happening to you, right? How do you do this? How do you get your lawyer on board? How do you get all your ducks in a row with all your evidence to be able to prove that this is happening to your kids and to you? And I feel very strongly that um, sometimes it happens, right? And people say that they were successful and that the judge agreed with them and maybe they got the custody orders changed or whatever. But basically, the only way to prove parental alienation syndrome is to throw a lot of money at it and then pray, because it completely depends on getting a judge who is enlightened and educated in this fairly new syndrome, and getting a lawyer who presents the situation really well to your advantage, maybe having a guardian ad litem who can see things clearly and is not swayed by very often the other parent is a very convincing, charismatic person who presents to the outside world as being completely cooperative and normal person and not what you see at all. So it's really important to know that as much as we talk about parental alienation syndrome now, it's not a diagnosis. It's not something that you get like blood work or x-rays for, right? It's a pattern of behaviors over a period of time that is on a spectrum of intensity from a little bit to crazy a lot, right? And it's a pattern of behaviors in which one parent is over time interfering with the child's natural relationship with the other parent. And very often they believe that they're doing this in the best interest of the child because the other parent is bad or dangerous or whatever they might be. And the truth is that unless the other parent is really so manifestly bad and dangerous that they need to get a restraining order against them, I don't think that there's any parent who should not be having an authentic relationship with their child. If you're an asshole, your child is going to figure it out. And they need to push back against you, or they need to resent you, or they need to, whatever they're going to do. It's part of their natural development to deal with you I'm going to say as a dad, because that's the world I'm working in, right? I'm working with alienated dads. And believe me, I know that there are moms, lots of moms who are on the alienated side of this equation. There are lots of families where dad and stepmom gang up on the biological mom. I know that it happens, but I'm not in the business of helping them. I don't have tools for helping them. I'm talking about the dads. Okay. So like, if you're a jerk, really, um, your kids need to be repeatedly disappointed by you. It's part of how they build the structure of their personality. Their interactions with you are essential to their development. So in the very worst case, there can be supervised visits or something, right? I don't think that any child should be made to understand that their father is not someone that they should ever associate with, or that they need to mistrust. So parental alienation syndrome is not a fact. It's not a fact that can be proven in a court of law. And that's really what courts are about. They want to see presentation of facts so that they can do this determination. And what ends up happening is that is that parents who are trying to prove parental alienation syndrome it comes across like whining. It comes across like whining and complaining and blaming. And the judges don't like that. Like it comes across feeling petty, even though they understand that it's, you know, it's important because the child is in the middle of this situation. It sets you up as someone who is, I don't know, that you're looking to the court to settle what is essentially a personal problem between you and your ex. It's a problem of their behavior. Now, where someone is doing something that is illegal, then you need to very often have recourse to the police or the courts, you know, to help stop some kind of illegal behavior. But what we're basically talking about when we talk about parental alienation, and I think that personally, I think that it's a potentially more successful way to go, is to be talking about psychological abuse. Psychological abuse that is being inflicted on your children because they have a birthright to an authentic relationship with both of their parents. And one of the parents is interfering in the exercise of that natural relationship. So, as I said, if you're a jerk, your child will figure it out on their own. It doesn't help them to, it doesn't help them for, you know, the other parent to say, you shouldn't interact with your dad because he is bad or mean or any of the other adjectives that they might apply to you. So this particular kind of psychological abuse consists mainly in three things, which are brainwashing, and that is done by repeating over and over again certain things that they want the child to believe. The other thing would be gaslighting. Gaslighting is a term that comes from a movie from the 1940s called Gaslight, but gaslighting is messing with somebody else's perception of reality. That happens where actual lies are being told to sustain an image of this person that doesn't really match the reality. And the third thing is emotional blackmail, where actual threats are being given out, even if it's a threat of a sort of unspoken threat of withholding affection from, you know, it would be the mom who withholds love if the child is too interested in pursuing their relationship with the other parent. So this kind of psychological abuse towards a child actually results in developmental harm. This harms their development of their personality, the personality structure that is built through their interaction with both of their parents. Every child, every human being is made up of 50% mom and 50% dad, and not one other thing, not one thing else. Empty air. All that we are is half mom and half dad. We're not 60-40. So that a child who is denied the opportunity to integrate what they need from both of their parents can never feel whole. They can never feel whole inside. And this is really creating a very significant harm to their development, their psychological development. So here's the thing. I believe that that dads can do more to rectify this situation by taking the stance that as the protector and provider of your child or your children, you will not tolerate anyone inflicting this kind of psychological harm. And as long as your children are the victims of some kind of psychological harm, you cannot also be a victim and expect to be able to help them. You can't help somebody when you're on the same level that they are. That's not That's not how the world works. That's not how nature works. You can't be behaving or thinking or feeling like a victim of parental alienation, or you can't help your kids. And this is the message that's not being said. And this is where dads are getting dragged into this whole world of like, prove what's happening to you, prove it in court so that the judge is going to, make the mom stop doing these things. And I know that it may seem impossible for there to be any other way for things to change, but I promise you that the solution to this only rests in your personal energy, in getting out of your victim archetype, your victim shadow, and having access to your personal power. Okay? Because, when you're just enlisting the court to save you from this situation, you end up at the end, like, where do you go at the end of that when you end up with a child who maybe comes to spend more time with you or even live with you all the time, who doesn't want to be there? They are still, they're still an alienated person on the inside. You have to have the resources to be able to help them out of their own victim situation. And the child really is a victim of this. You as an adult, you are not a victim, but you have fallen into believing the rhetoric around that. It doesn't seem to make any sense to me that the protector and provider, someone who has a sacred contract with his children as their father, would commit their future, everything about their welfare, to the whim of a judge who could decide in your favor or not. And there's no way to know that before you get involved. Nobody can fix this problem but you. Nobody can fix this problem but you. So as I said, you want to be finding a way to access your innate power and to step out of feeling, acting, thinking like a victim. There is only power and shadow. There's not an in-between place. If you are not in your power around this, then you're in shadow. You are a victim of your own fear and insecurity around your capacity to do it, around what's going to happen, around how can you possibly do it, around what will everyone say about me. I can't go into all the possible manifestations of shadow, but if you're going to lead your children out of this dark place, you have to have total unshakable confidence that you can do it. And it doesn't serve you as a father, and it doesn't serve your children for that role to be taken up by someone else who does it on your behalf. It doesn't serve you in the long term. So before I close, I just want to say that starting next week, I am running a program called Legacy Mastermind. It is an 8-week program to essentially turbocharge you into this place of personal power and out of your shadow, fear, and uncertainty, releasing your trapped power, becoming magnetic so that you can sustain your children in an orbit around you without a lot of effort. That's the goal. As I said, it's an 8-week program. It's for 6 dads only. I'm enrolling people now. It is a $5,000 investment. You have to apply to get in, and I would be very happy to talk to anyone who's interested in learning more. You can reach me at info@essentialstepmom.com or tracy@undeletabledad.com. And I'll look forward to talking to anybody, but jump on it quick because these spaces are going to go and we start next week. Thanks for watching.